So, welcome to the C programming language series. I'll assume that you have very little exposure in computer science. Hence, I'll start this series at the very basics and eventually will master the C language. So, this is the 0th video, and without any delay, let's set up our build environment. So, you can go to visualstudio.microsoft.com. This is a software by Microsoft which is a complete solution for many development environments. This gives us MSBC compiler, which is most frequently used on Windows. So if you are on Windows machine, feel free to download Visual Studio and set up your environment. For Linux and Mac users, you probably already have Clang installed. So go to terminal and type Clang --version. That will tell you if you have Clang or not. Over here I have Clang version 16.0.0. But C is a very basic language and it is very compact in the sense that the updates don't matter much. So whatever Clang version you have already installed, considering you have kind of a modern operating system that we are following this tutorial on, then it is fine. So we have Clang over here on my Mac. For Linux also this will be the same. One more thing you can do is setting up the GCC with Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is the code editor or text editor that I prefer to use. So to set that up, you can actually follow this code.visualstudio.com, this website, and using GCC with MinGW. You can just Google this up or you can find this link in the description section also. So I'm assuming at this point of watching this video already have set up your build environment. If you have failed in setting up don't worry, you can just ignore it for now and use the online compiler to get started on the language itself. Because very soon we'll be using CMake, and when we learn CMake, we'll be setting up our build environment for multiple devices, so like cross-platform compatibility and all. So at that time, you can worry about setting it up properly with CMake. So for now, you can also use this online compiler. You can just search in Google online C compiler and you will be introduced with something which looks like this. So in the left, I have the code, and in the right, I can actually run and see the output. So if you are using Visual Studio Code like me, then I recommend you get this extension basically. So C/C++ you can type in the extension section, and this is by Microsoft actually. This will give us code auto completions and all of those, but they're purely optional. Like you can go chat, like use a notepad or you can just use Vim. Up to you, up to your like exposure to computers and your confidence. Anyways, so let's start writing this code. So I have created a file called helloworld.c. So .c stands for, this is a C instruction set. So this is an instruction file which is human readable. So whatever we type, this is just text. So formatting is like UTF. So this is human readable text, but this is not readable by the computer. So this text, whatever we write over here, instruction sets, this will be compiled using to binary format using one of this whatever you have set up. So for Visual Studio will have MSBC compiler, Clang, GCC, etc. So there is also another compiler called LLVM, I think, with a dragon logo. So that logo looks really cool. Anyways, I'll start with hash include stdio.h. So this is a special statement in the C instruction set where after hash include you are defining a header file. So header files are the catalog in a book. Okay, so over there you can see that how many chapters, what are the name of the chapters without knowing the content of the chapters in a book. So these header files will just define the functions, and depending on those function signatures, the body of that function will be written in another file. So this last 10 seconds of words may have lost you, but don't worry, like in 2 to 3 more videos you will be very fluent with this kind of terminology. For now, just copy from the screen and try it out. So we have included stdio.h. stdio stands for standard input output. So let's do something with standard input output. Before that, we need a special function called int main. Int main, this signature is reserved in C language, also in C++, because this is the entry point of the application. So by entry point I mean when the computer will run this program, or when we instruct to run this program, the computer will start execution from this line onwards. So after main, whatever the first line inside it, inside the main function, that will be the first line that will be executed. So in that sense, this is the entry point. So let's print something. Printf, and I'll pass in a character array. Hello world, like the basic of basic codes. I'll do return 0, 0 as an integer, and this function actually expects a return type of integer. Although you can just omit this, it will not give any error most of the time, depending on whatever compiler you're using. Anyways, this printf function, where it came from? It actually came from this header file that we included. So the developers of C actually created some nice functions for us in the standard libraries, and one of them is printf that we'll be using to print some data on the terminal. So enough writing, let's compile this. Open a terminal, and assuming you have like GCC ready. Okay, so actually Clang, for me Clang is already installed, so it is fine. For the Visual Studio people, like if you are on Windows, you can just use the code editor of Visual Studio itself. It will have some UI buttons to run and all. So we have this, and I'll go to the terminal, write GCC, and I have to give the name of my file. So hello world.c. Okay, so in the left hand side in the files, you can see that a.out, a new file has been created. This is actually the binary representation of whatever this we have written. So let's write the binary compiled program. So a./a.out. We can see that hello world has been printed. So we have actually created a binary instruction set from this C instruction set using this GCC compiler, and you can just like run this by double clicking it also, but it will instantly close because we are not waiting on anything. So you cannot see actually the print statements. Running it from a terminal works pretty fine. Now if you are on the online compiler, write the same thing and hit the run button. It will actually compile and run your program. So like this, you can just write any kind of C program and run it, build and run it. So this was actually pretty basic example, and many of the things you may have questions about, which will be answered in the later videos. Also feel free to ask me in the comment sections below, like what is return, like why we're using printf. So things like this, and all the code will be available on GitHub for you to see. So like today we created hello world.c. I'll just quickly push it. So I'll say that 00th video. Okay, and I'll just post this. So you can go into GitHub. The link will be on the description, so you can check this out. I'll make it public right after I stop the recording, of course. So it will be available for you to see. So hello world.c code you can see over here. Like this, all the scripts we'll be writing will be available on GitHub for you to see. Thank you for watching this video. Thumbs if you liked it. Do share it with your friends and family. And make sure to subscribe for more content and let me know in the comment section below.